Welcome to No Excuses. My name is Mary Fran, and this is my place to be fit, be happy, talk about weight loss, and just talk about life because it all goes together. So if you are new here, please think about commenting, liking, subscribing, notification bell. I love the interaction. So you might notice that I am in a very different location. And if you ever have watched them or know us, this is the quilt that I take along when we travel. Why, yes, we went away. This was a spur-of-the-moment decision. We have been really struggling with the thought of, should we go to the beach for our big vacation, but they have to wear masks outside all the time? Or should we go to the mountains where we don't wear masks? And we have been leaning heavily toward the mountains. But we've just really struggled with the thought of giving up the beach. Didn't want to give it up. So on Saturday morning of this past weekend, we were actually out grocery shopping. And we were talking about our decision, and we were both very comfortable with our decision. But we had that niggling little thought in the back of our mind of, what if this wouldn't be so bad to go to the ocean? And then also the whole thought of, I really want to see it. There's something about the ocean that's powerful, that is awe-inspiring, that I love to get a touch of every year. And as we were grocery shopping, we talked about that desire. And we looked at each other and we said, it's a long weekend. Wonder if we can get a reservation. So we finished our groceries. I went home quickly. I threw all the perishable items in the refrigerator and everything else on the counter. And I immediately got online. And we found a hotel. So we actually went to the beach and we had a fabulous time. So let's see what we did.
We were so excited to see the familiar sights on the drive there. Stuff like the Bay Bridge. That was so neat because we knew we were on the way. We actually also stopped in Cambridge, Maryland. We had always wanted to stop and we just never took the time. But we took the time on this trip. And we saw the visitor center. And we visited the cool monument, and we even went out onto the fishing pier over the Choptank River. Sadly, the Choptank River Lighthouse was closed for tours, but we did walk out to it and we got to enjoy the sights. We finally arrived in Ocean City, and boy, did it feel and look great. We could hear the seagulls. We could smell the salt water. It was fabulous. We immediately headed down the boardwalk to explore. Unfortunately, masks were mandatory even outside. And yes, it was super annoying, super hot, and just no fun. After a bit of time, we headed to our hotel to check in. We had reservations at the Shoreham Hotel on 4th Street. We walked into our room, and the first thing I saw was a space heater in the corner and a little sink in the corner of the room. And my first thought was, what in the world did we get ourselves into? But then I looked around, and the room was meticulous. The paint, there was not a scuff of anywhere. It was perfect, and it was clean. Pardon the mess, because we had already spread out here at this point. There is a bathroom through that door that has a toilet and a shower. And the room was 10 by 12. There was nothing else in this room other than the bed. And at first we were like, man, what in the world? But then we started to think about the history. Because you see, this is an old hotel. This hotel had actually been built in the early 1900s, and it was built on the section of the boardwalk that at that time was noted to be for the upper crust, for the upper echelon, the people that spent their whole season at the beach. And it was built, and the newspaper article boasted that it had 40 rooms with 16 bathrooms. They did do an upgrade, and a later article talked about how each room had a private bathroom. But this building and this hotel is the oldest hotel in operation at Ocean City. But the history was not over. This visit, the Carousel House was open for us to go in and see the old carousel. The Trimper family had fallen in love with the Ocean City area back in the 1890s, and so they sold their business and they moved to Ocean City, where they opened some hotels and started some amusement activities for sale. And part of that was an early amusement park. In 1912, they ordered a giant carousel of its type. And it was ordered from the Herschel Spillman Company, who also did the carousel at Coney Island, which has burnt down. This is one of the very few remaining giant ones left. It is all hand carved. It is gorgeous. It is still in the original building they built it in. It is so neat to see. What fun history. And of course, we got to see the ocean. We got to walk by the ocean and view it, and we even had the time to get into the water and enjoy the waves and the water. So, thank you for sharing our vacation with us. This really cemented our decision. We are 100% fine with going to the mountains. Wearing masks outside was annoying, to say the least. And they did have police out checking and policing it. We were happy because we got to see the ocean. We got to see what we love. And we're good now until our spring ocean trip. So we're fine. Thanks again for joining us. And just remember, there are no excuses in life. Get out and live the best life possible.